Hello world of YouTube and welcome to a follow-up list to a list that I dropped last year, but amidst all of what last year was for me, this sort of fell to the wayside, and I'm choosing now as the perfect time to bring back a follow-up to my top 11 favorite Mortal Kombat characters list with my top 11 least favorite Mortal Kombat characters list. While there are some notoriously awful characters throughout this franchise and some of them do crumb up on this list, I feel like some people are harsher on other characters than others, and there's some in the bottom era of the list that could have easily been swapped out for somebody else for a different reason or another. There are some honorable mentions, or dishonorable mentions, I guess, listed in the description this time. Similarly to my favorite Mortal Kombat characters list, this will be because of their story, or potentially their design choice, or just how they generally are in their games. I mean, there's a multitude of reasons that could put somebody on this list, and these are all just my personal picks. Give this video a like if you're excited to see the list. Let's go ahead and get started.
I'm getting mad, I'm getting tilted as fuck. I'm getting so I'm getting salty.
The biggest reason Tanya's here, honestly, is the fight from Deception. The AI in that fight was utter shit, and I'm happy to have been past it. Granted, some of that might have been my fault. I still hated the experience I had with it enough to put her at least at the bottom of the list. I don't hate her design. I don't hate her story per se. Granted, her deity of choice is somebody that's on this list as well, so that's also part of it. Her story has aspects I don't really care about that just kind of culminated into her ending up on the bottom of the list. The whole bottom of the list in general, the last spot, was kind of hard to fill in. I had a couple choices floating in the ether, and I ultimately landed on Tanya purely for that deception part.
In order to learn the secret of the blue screen, you must go at it with a round with me and Baraka.
Another addition that could have easily been an honorable mention, out of all the non-character characters like Meat and Blaze, Mocap is a great idea for a character given this game franchise's roots. In fact, the character himself is a tribute to the actor who played Raiden in a handful of games, and I like that about it. I like the idea, you know, we have characters like Johnny Cage in these games. Why not have a tribute to that aspect of filmmaking with Mocap? It's not bad. I think similarly to a character that's higher up on the list, if they were to revisit the concept of this character and add goofy stuff like things appearing when he punches to fit into the green screen aesthetic, that would be kind of neat. Just in his current state and anytime he's been used, it's been really underwhelming for a character that is ripe with potential. Again, a loving tribute, but could have been a better character all around. Honestly, similar to Tanya, Jarek was also almost kept off the list purely for his final cutscenes for Mortal Kombat 4 alone.
Never, Sonya. I agreed to help defeat Shinnok, not turn myself into the Special Forces. The Black Dragon, live on!
However, Jarek as a character is pretty lame. His design is very dated. Dude's wearing like a vest with a soul patch. God damn. Also, his hair. Boy, with the JC Chazé Caesar. The Black Dragon Clan has had a handful of other characters that are far more interesting than Jarek, and even in Deception, they kind of make him out to be this just seething coward. And I just hate him as a character in that regard. Sure, there's some memes to be made of him, but as a character, he sucks ass. While acting as the protagonist to admittedly one of the weaker games on the Mortal Kombat series, Mortal Kombat Armageddon, Taven and Dagon don't do much to add to the lore outside of expanding parts of like Rain's background, which is neat, but I kind of like Shujinko a bit more than Taven and Dagon. I think Shujinko's story is a little more compelling. These guys feel much more like blank slates with which to, you know, give the character a very plain POV. A complaint I know people were throwing a good old Cole what's-his-name in the movie that came out last year as well. I just don't enjoy their contributions to the series. You know, there's other non-characters that I know a lot of people put high up on the list, like Blaze or Meat, but honestly, I feel like Taven and Dagon are far less interesting because at least Meat and Blaze are kind of funny ideas as characters, which I feel like add a bit more to the overall presentation style of Mortal Kombat as a franchise than these two sterile-ass Joe Schmo-looking motherfuckers. Listen, I know everybody likes to have a Ken Masters in their fighting games. Hell, he's my go-to character in Street Fighter.
Nope. Denied.
But Mortal Kombat's version of Ken with Cobra just feels like a 2-bit Johnny Cage that decided to be a bad guy instead of a good guy. He seems weird in the Black Dragon, given everybody else in the Black Dragon clan as far as the games are considered. I mean, I don't know. He just feels like a weird place to put into this game. He comes in at a point in the franchise where they're adding a hodgepodge of characters, and he just feels like an addition made to fill in a slot because they didn't want to do something else. You know, I don't know. I don't like Cobra. I don't like him in general. I'll be glad when Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter collab so that I can see Ken kick Cobra's ass in a cutscene.
He says escape is futile.
While he is definitely better in Mortal Kombat X, I feel like Shinnok is just the least compelling antagonist the series has ever had. I think he's a really shitty final boss in Mortal Kombat Mythologies and in Gold.
His playstyle in 4 is wacky as hell too, because you can just be hitting a button combination and switch characters on the fly, whether accidentally or not. He's like a spin on Shang Tsung, but a worser version of him by and large.
Round 2, fight!
I feel like he's upstaged by his own Goro in the form of Quan Chi, his main assistant.
Around Shinnok's neck.
I feel like is a far more compelling character than Shinnok himself, and that ultimately makes him a character that I just don't like. Again, they did him a lot better in his version of Mortal Kombat X. I feel like they actually created a fun character in that game. But everything else up to that point has been just so disappointing, given the gods of Mortal Kombat have had some pretty cool outcomes. He is easily my least favorite one. A character who is a hodgepodge of ideas that has gone through retcons and ultimately culminates in one of the dullest characters in the entire series. Reiko started out as a replacement for Noob Saibot in Mortal Kombat 4, which is a damn shame, because you're telling me there's probably a world out there where Noob Saibot got in Mortal Kombat 4 instead of this doofus, whose ending painted him to be the next Shao Khan, or Shao Kahn himself, or something related to Shao Kahn, to which they had to retcon and go, no, he has nothing to do with that. I'm sorry, this is a dumb idea.
I have discovered that Reiko, formerly my most trusted general, has been entering my private chamber to wear my helmet.
I am Reiko, general of Shao Kahn's army. What is it you wish to tell me? Oh, Shao Kahn knows about that? Tell him I will no longer enter his chamber or wear his helmet. But just between us, his helmet will belong to me in due time.
And now we don't know what to do with this guy who looks like he's trying to be a mix between Sting and your other favorite pro wrestler. I don't like Reiko's design, I don't like his character at all, and I think he's easily one of the most complicated messes in Mortal Kombat's history.
Fatalities are just what happens if you're really brutal to your opponent. You get an opponent, you can rip off his head or something like that.
While gore and the graphic nature was a selling point to Mortal Kombat back in the day and gave it that one-up above Street Fighter to me as a kid, and that grew into them incorporating more horror and other horror-adjacent ideas, Draman kind of represents the worst aspects of exploring gore and horror in the series. Very basic character in the game that was built around having different fighting styles to showcase more of a variety. Draman is the most basic character in the game, and it feels like it's because of his character design the Iron Club thing, which would have been cool to see in like Mortal Kombat 3 possibly, just feels so out of place in this game. While he's kind of a cool embodiment of the extremes that character design can be in the series, similarly to characters like Meat, or having the forearm dudes like Kintaro and Goro, or having Motaro as a character, Draman just feels like the worst embodiment of a lot of that, you know, and he's just kind of a dull character with not much going on from a story perspective either. So he's just one of the worst. If there's one thing the Mortal Kombat fandom can unite under as far as an opinion is considered, it's that Howe is easily one of the worst characters the series has ever churned out. A character whose in-game death via another character's ending was considered canon because they didn't want to bring him back that badly. Howe feels like the weirdest tangent that the series could have gone on as far as world building, given he's a subsidiary of the Red Dragon, the Black Dragon crime rivals. You know, Mavado, another character from Deadly Alliance, is also a member of this group. It just feels like the biggest addition to a series that was fumbled so aggressively. And Howe is just the fucking worst. His design is very, very awful. His overall story is so uninteresting. And he sucks. He just sucks. There's a reason why nobody likes him. And there's only a few reasons as to why he's not number one. One of them being...
Ophelia, call the police.
Sure. Playing Fuck the Police by NWA.
Fuck the police coming straight from the underground.
Fuck this plain Jane John Doe looking ass cop motherfucker. Are we gonna fight our guy?
Hotaru.
Hotaru.
You have violated my ordinance. You were to go indoors when the toll sounded. Ordinance?
This dude locks you away for literal decades over one very minor offense that you weren't even aware you were committing because of such poor character communication. For untold years, Shujinko remained in prison for awaiting his trial. What the fuck? Hotaru can lick my nuts. I fucking hate this guy. Hotaru is the epitome of authoritarian characters that can rot in a fucking ditch. I forgot that's how we get old. We just get locked up in jail over a miscommunication.
And that was my list. What did you think about it? Did you like it? Did you not? Were some of your least favorite characters omitted from this list? Let me know in the comments down below. If you did like it, again, be sure to give it a like. If you want to see more of my music, gaming, and general nerdery content, be sure to subscribe. Special thanks to my patrons. If you want to join the ranks to get early access to content, exclusive content, or to help drive the community with polls, it's linked in the description. I'm going to get out of here, though. Thank you again so very much for watching. I've been Viral Rack. You guys have good days, lives, and situations, and I'll see you another day.
Yoricom Developments Limited Entertainment Software Games. Electronic fun for everyone.